Alright, hello everyone, this is Mr. Crozier. I'm going to go over problem number 1 completely from equation table graph worksheet number 2. Alright, we're given some information about a table and we're asked to find an equation in a graph, and what we've been told is that these are exponential models. They're going to follow that plan right there. A equals PRT. And the table is given with f of x and x, so I can just go ahead and put these in here. Doesn't matter, the letters won't matter. So I have an input and an output and a p-value, an e-value, and an r-value. Well, e is that constant. If we look at this, let's see here, e to the first power is this number 2.7182. Alright, so I just need to find the principal amount and the rate. Well, what I see in this table is I have 2 points right here. This is a point, input 4, output, and input 10, output here. Now we learned a formula that says the rate of that is equal to the ln of the second one divided by the first one. Oops, that's going to be a 0 there. And that's just a formula that we've created. And on the bottom we subtract them. So this is 10 minus 4. So that formula, if you don't have it memorized by now, it is ln is y2 over y1, and we subtract them on the bottom. So doing that formula is going to give us a rate. So let's see what this rate is. ln of 1476 divided by 860 divided by parentheses 10 minus 4. Be sure to put that entire denominator in parentheses. And this rate is 0.09. We can round here to hundredths. So I know the rate of change here is 9%. So I'm going to go ahead and fix my equation. And this has a 0.09 rate of change. There's the rate of change, 9%. That's how we find it. However, we still don't know where it starts. So I write my original equation. F of x is equal to P E. I do know this rate of change now, which is 0.9, so I can go ahead and write that in there, but I still don't know where it starts. Well, you pick a point, any point you want to. I'm going to pick the second one here. This is F, or 1476 is equal to P E of 0.09 times 10. And now to solve this equation for P, I go ahead and divide by this number right here. This is a number. E to the 0.09 times 10 is that number right there, 2.45. So I just divide that all over there. I know it's kind of a crazy number to divide by, but that divides away, and P is equal to, let's see what we get here, 1476 divided by E, that's been raised to that power. And it rounds neatly to 600. You don't have to round exact on the equation. I tried to make them easy for you, so they come out to be some nice numbers. Let me fix that whole equation now. E to the 0.09 x. And there we have our equation. It has a nice rate of 9%. It has a nice starting value of 600. It has an E value of 2.71. And it has an input and an output. Now I can complete my table. Let's input 0. Well, inputs are easy. All we do for inputs are go ahead and put them in there, right there. Well, 600, well, we should have known that one. And this one's pretty easy too, because now all I gotta do is take that same equation and change it to input 20 instead of input 0, and there we have it. 3, 6, 2, 9, 7, 9. And in my table, I'm going to go ahead and round to the right 2 decimals in the equation. Round to something nice and neat here. All right, so when we have an input to get an output, very simple. But what happens here when we have the output and we need to go back and find the input? Well, it's a little bit more work, but we can do that. 0.09x. So we have to go back and find that input right there that's going to produce that output. Well, step 1, let's divide this over. Let's see if we get something nice. No, So let's just leave it like that. Let's just leave it like divided by 600. It's not an answer, so we're not going to round yet. And now I have, this has been divided over, so why don't I also take the natural log at the same time, which will allow this to come down to the front. That's what taking a log does. It allows, this has been divided over, and when I take the log of it, it allows this exponent to come down to the front, and now I have times ln of just the base. And that's 1. So then now I just need to, whoops, I forgot to write the x in there. I just need to divide both sides by 0.09, and I have x will be equal to this divided by this. So I have ln of 1232 divided by 600 divided by 0.09. That is 7.99, 7.99. That will go right there. And then it should, everything should match. This is 600, then 800, 1200, 14, 25, 36, it's going up, and then this will go up too. And again, if you want to find this one, take that number, plug it right there, do the same math, and you'll get a different answer there for x. All right, let's talk about graphing for a second. If you want to graph this, our domain goes from 0 to 20. We put 10 in the middle. And our range goes from 0 up to 3,600. Well, we're not going to use that number. What I would do is I would just use the number 4,000. And then you can start plugging the points in there. And again, as always, you will see this pattern. I'm not going to do the points, but it will be an upward curve. Take some time to get these as accurate as you can. All right, if you are going on the calculus next year, you're going to want to get one of these calculators, the TI-84. They come in color, they come in regular, but we can graph on here. If I change this, and I'll show you here. Whoops. If I change my window here to 0 to 20, count by twos, and 0 to 4,000, I can go here and I can type in this equation, which is 600 e to the 0.09 x. I can hit graph, and right there's what you'll see. This will be graphed right there. That's what it'll look like if you change it from 0 to 20 and 0 to 4,000. That's the curve you're going to get. Now, you can also plot the points on here. There's ways you can get this to plot the points that are really neat. And I want to show you one more thing on your worksheet. When you get to number 2, this is a negative rate. So watch what happens now if I were to just change this to a negative rate. Now it's negative 9%. Well, look at that graph. Now it's sweeping down. Let me go ahead and start it up here at 4,000 for you. Now it's going down. So if it's negative rate, it's going down. But if you're in calculus next year, it's worth your investment to get one of these calculators. They do come like this in color, and they do come regular, but you can graph everything that we need to do right in your calculator. All right, hope this helps with your math today.